All right, guys, back again, looking at this old meter miser compressor. What I'm going to attempt to do today is take this high side service port nut off and put just a regular Schrader valve service port in there. Seal up these two ends and do a pressure test on it. Make sure there's no leaks anywhere in the compressor or out of the wiring terminals. All right, I'm gonna give it a shot. All right, I've got the service port opened. My dog won't leave me alone. It was pretty easy to open. So now I'm gonna try to clean that port out and put my Schrader valve port in there. Yeah, well, I just noticed that when I got this out, I looked inside the service port there. There's no threads right there on the end. You have to go about this far in before you even get to the threads. And I know some of them have the threads all the way to the end, but these fittings here is not going to work. So I don't know if they make one with a longer thread on the end or not, but probably what I'm going to do is just seal this back up. That's the reason I got these solder in ones. I got these. I can solder them in on the high side and the low side on the bottom down there. And if I ever need to service it, or when I pull a vacuum, pressure test, whatever, add refrigerant, I can just use these service ports. I wanted to kind of keep it as close to original as I could, but this will work just fine. All right, I'm gonna get the sweating in. All right, I got these two solder joints soldered on. I didn't realize it till after I started cleaning what I thought was copper with my sandpaper. But on the high side up here, this I believe it may be steel. My solder had a hard time sticking to it, but I think I finally got it. I'm no soldering expert when you're soldering dissimilar metals, but it took, if anybody's got any better ideas on how to solder copper to steel, please let me know, because I may redo this joint. I ain't 100% certain if it'll last, but the bottom on the suction side was copper to copper, so it was no problem. I just crimped the ends on, soldered them to pressure test the system, and then if I ever use this compressor, all I gotta do is cut these ends off right here. I did tighten the cap back. As of right now, let's see, I got my dry nitrogen. Got 100 pounds of pressure on the compressor. I just wanted to see before I do anything else any further with this thing that it's not leaking out of the terminals or out of the bottom of the compressor somewhere. So I'm gonna check my joints, make sure they're not leaking. Yeah, see, that joint there is leaking. So I'm gonna have to either get some flux or something. That's not gonna work. I was pretty sure that thing wasn't gonna work anyway. Well, so far everything else is holding. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something to get that copper to stick to the steel. And it actually looks like it might have been originally bolted onto the compressor, but I'm not even gonna try to take that off. It'll just probably crumble or break altogether. So probably gonna try maybe using some flux, maybe a different type of solder. I'm using just regular refrigeration Stay Silver 15 solder, which I guess is generally just used for copper to copper. So I'll have to research it. Unless somebody else has a better idea, let me know.